He's our main one.
Okay.
Emailed most of everything.
It doesn't matter. I know the tuners anyway, because I obviously on the ceremony at the I can't remember what his Christian name was. He was on my coach, so I was very much against the exhumation. So yeah, the tunnelling war is a very big part of the Great War. Changing tack and trying to take as many channel ports as they possibly can. That's a very fantastic Roman amphitheatre or theatre in Beautiful.
The train that goes between here and Brussels.
That's what they do. Yeah. It may have been different if there'd been a name on one of them. On exactly the same footprint, and the villages were built exactly as they were. Now, what makes it even more interesting, there really has been a very little development on the, but it doesn't matter. We have put it back exactly as it was. It's as if you never came here. So it's exactly as you would recognise it. German soldier. Now I think just checking where we are. I've been watching.
There was a sign that said something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we're just crossing the Somme River. So you need to look right to get a good view of it. I'll look down the way. No, there's not going to count sports like that on the Somme River. The damming of it or sluicing of it to make it spread onto the floodplains. So it's the A roads, the talking about behind the church. So you can see a church spire. So it's about 1 o'clock. That's where we're heading. We're going to be below it, looking up to it. And we'll start telling the first story of the Australians fighting here. River Somme is on our lock gates are to the right. but that's a genuine poppy. Lucky to see it. This late in the season, they've nearly all done a kind of early spring, early summer flower, late spring. Here. So how are the Australian troops here? What are they doing? So we have to explain a little bit about what's happened in the war. We've graduated battalions. You're conscripted on when you're almost 18. You're trained. When you turn 18, you're sent to France. So it's that desperate. We're actually grabbing them as. Are there smashed and shattered, but it's still, you can tell it's a street that they're walking down.
What happened to the French? That's the
This memorial is the only one that looks like this. All the rest of them are just obelisks there, and we'll see some of the others. We'll see all of them apart from at all. But the numbers are relatively small. There was quite an important wall. We didn't know what was behind it. Well, in fact, there was nothing behind it. It's just a revetting wall from an old chateau that once used to be a chateau. It actually gone even before the war, and certainly it was pulverised during the war. So what we could see here is actually some of the damage done. So this wall that's all over the shop. So it's just nice. So when I say fighting in woods, everybody gets his imagination of ducking around trees and stuff. By the time infantry get into woods, there's normally no wood there at all. It's already gone. Mont St Quentin. This village never went back to the size it was before the First World War. What happened? A lot of obviously men go away, didn't come back into the wood. Now in the old days, we used to walk down it. We used to walk down here. When I say the old days, probably 4 years ago. It's protecting from people coming up the slope this way. Remember I said they were to time themselves so they could see them very clearly, whether it was day or night. And so it became, and there's no wood. You have to remember the wood is gone. The wood is gone. So this is the German position. So as I say, 4 years ago we'd have been able to walk in here. The Germans are fighting. The Australians are coming up from the valley floor again, because that's where the canal is. The canal's at the bottom, they're coming up this way. In particular here we've got the Australian 21st Battalion is fighting its way up these hills here. 21st Battalion is very well recorded in two ways. Photographed, it had embedded, we would now use that term but it didn't then, but there were embedded photographers with it as it over it, was by finding out as much as he possibly could. His father was actually, I must admit I can't remember the guy's name. His father was in charge of the Melbourne tramways, and there used to be a quarry there. It's one of those quarries that's just scraping the hillside for getting the chalk out of. It was used by the medical services as the fighting went up onto the hill. The medics got into there to have frontline triage, effectively, using modern term again. And eventually it's where they're going to gather up the men that are killed just in front of us here, and on that cross is a beam tin that's been punched out with all the names of all the guys that were once buried beneath it, and it's from here. That's where it's Charles Bean again. It's Charles Bean cross. So what I need to talk about now, and this is going to get a little gruesome, but I think is the best time to open fire. If you're then sending lots of Germans behind you, they're going to get intermingled with blokes that haven't surrendered. So you've got blokes that have surrendered. How does that affect you? Well, it affects you in the end. You think, I'm not going to get through this. Why should I get through it? None of my mates are. But instead,
Sorry?
oh, there. This is Foch here. The very badly parked van. And then when we clear the corn, you see where the trees are on the left, where you can see the trees. Just, yeah, that's a German cemetery. And then just here, just behind this house on the left hand, always got a cross of some. That is the wood that we can see with the water tower in front. That white thing is a water tower. That's a wood called lousy wood, as in the lice they get on the soldiers. So lousy wood. As a matter of interest, on the far side of that wood, on the right hand side of that finger of wood that's coming towards us, was where the grandson of Charles Dickens was killed there. On the right hand side are the two woods, the big woods that are on the skyline, estimated to have between 8,000 and 10,000 bodies still within that wood. Finished in the 1980s, same as the British coal industry. 1917, during the Battle of Messines, Australians were on the other side of the wood. Brussels sprouts. Ramparts, and even they've been completely refronted. Everything is from the until the 1970s, so it's a lot. minute on the right hand side we're going to see a little series of concrete British blockhouses, part of a medical post, a medical aid post known as Bedford House. A bit difficult to see, it's behind this corn coming up, we'll see it in a second, hopefully. A little bit further yet. And then just after it is a cemetery, and the cemetery is also called Bedford House because that's where they were burying the guys that died at the aid post. And interestingly, it's got two sections, a front section nearer the road and a rear section, and the front section is from the Second World War, from fighting here during the Second World War. We're very close to the start of the defensive perimeter of Dunkirk here. Here on the right hand side. Second.
Is it Commonwealth grave?
Yeah, all Commonwealth War graves, yeah. You can look for the signs of Commonwealth War graves, they're always green with white lettering on them. Again, Vauban fortifications. Rampart Cemetery on the left. So all rebuilt.
That's the silly thing, isn't it?
Yeah. That's directly in front, that's the Cloth Hall, so it's not a church, it looks very church-like, but it's the Weavers' Guilds showing how powerful they are.
Yeah.
And then the building behind it with the spire, that is the church, that's St Martin's, which is set behind the Cloth Hall. Now we're going in the Cloth Hall tomorrow morning because that's where the In Flanders Fields Museum is. I'll be going to the same place we are as well, so it makes it difficult just to park. So this is the Grand Place, the main square. We had popcorn. This is my third time here in 4 days. Need to be going. You'll see we are just literally around the corner. Our hotel is just around the corner.
on this daily ceremony. As this is a remembrance ceremony, may we ask you to remain silent and not to applaud during the ceremony or after it. Dames en heren, in naam van de Last Post Association wensen wij u van harte welkom op deze plek.
compraron en Riga.
Ah,
Ja, dat moet dan.
Goedemorgen.